Hello again, everybody. It's cooking with Wookie time. So, my wife has told me that it might be necessary to show you guys how to do a box cake. And what we mean by box cake is cake that comes in the box. Now, this one.
Can you hear the music over here?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Sorry.
It's okay. So this is gluten-free, as you can see.
What allergies are you cooking for?
Today is gluten-free, and it looks like pretty much casein-free too. It doesn't say it, so I'm not completely certain on it, but we are not adding milk to this. All right, so there's no milk added to this particular cake mix. I'm showing it to you. This is not a sponsored video. I'm just showing it to you because this is what I use for the wifey. To make her cakes that she loves. And that way, we don't deal with all the stomach upset. So, obviously it has instructions on it, which in this case is right there. And I will follow the instructions. But we have a couple of different things that I like to do with these cakes. Now, first things first, we got to add all of the powder ingredients. So you got your bag of ingredients. And I suppose I should show you the bowl. I use a freaking enormous bowl. Okay? Now, there's two reasons for that. One, it gives me plenty of room in there to do things with. And it keeps me from splashing all over the kitchen. Because we are going to be using an electric mixer. And, not one of those, it's going to be an old-fashioned mixer. Not one of the new, put it in the blender kind of things, because I've got a blender and stuff up there I could use, but I don't use it much. I use it more for protein shakes and stuff. So, okay, I'm going to turn the camera so you can see what I'm doing while I'm explaining. So here we are. Sorry for all of the... I'm relaxed at home, so I don't cook with the shirt on. Alright? Okay, so here you got your powdered ingredients in the bowl. Alright? And then, let's see, the instructions tell us that we need 3/4 of a cup of water and 2/3 cup of oil or melted butter. Now, because of the casein allergy, I don't use the melted butter, I use the oil option. So, we have our mixing, or our measuring cup. So we need 2/3. Now, I always do the oil first because the water will make the oil float. And that's really what you want. It helps to make sure that you got all of the oil into the mix, because there's always going to be some left over. And what do you know? That's pretty much 2/3 of a cup is what I had left in the bottle. I always use the Bertolli extra virgin olive oil. Alright. Don't use the dark oil. If you get the light version, it'd be even better because it doesn't have the heavy olive taste to it. So if you get the light, that's fine. But I cook with that. So we just pour it in. Blurp. Just like that. Now, 2/3 of a cup of oil, 3/4 of a cup of water. And like I said, I use the water to rinse out the oil because, as you can, I don't know if you can see it from up there. Doesn't look like it. But there's always going to be, you're always going to have residue in there. And I use cold water because you don't want, the cake to start rising on you. See? And as you can see, there's oil in the water. It just helps to make things a lot nicer, especially if you're the one doing dishes by hand. Now it says we need 4 eggs, which is great, but here's the thing, I'm out of eggs at the moment while I'm doing this video. We do have liquid eggs. This is the liquid eggs that was donated to the cause. So I'm going to shake it up a little bit. Now, if you're using liquid eggs, they should have a portion chart on here somewhere for you. This one has it right there. So you can see about what is necessary. So we need 4 eggs, which is 2/3 of a cup. 3 eggs is 2/3 of a cup, and we need 4. Okay, so I'm going to use, I've got a little measuring dealie here. You can use this. You can actually use the one that we just used for the oil and stuff, but it's got a single egg at 3 tablespoons. And my measuring cup here does not have, this one here doesn't have a tablespoon. So you're not going to be accurate if you do it that way. This one, however, does. So I'm gonna do that. So 3 tablespoons is, so this one will only hold 9 tablespoons. So we'll get 3 eggs out of it. You always want to make sure that your measuring cup is on a level surface like this, and you're looking at the measure that you're supposed to. So as you can see with this one, see it has the tablespoons. Make sure that's facing towards you. When I first started, when I was very young, started cooking when I was 11 for myself because my mom had to go to work. She was a single mom at that time because mom and dad were having their issues. They never divorced, so don't panic on that one. It's just they had to take breaks from each other from time to time. We'll leave it at that. So I'm going to open up our carton over here because I don't have a lot of room here. All right, and we're going to go 9 tablespoons in the first run. Okay, so there's 9 tablespoons right there. Okay, and then we need 3 more. Yep, got a little bit more than I wanted, but you know, if you're off by a little bit and you want to put it back, you can. I was off by like 1 millimeter. Because, you know, eyeballs don't work as well as they used to. Okay, so there's your mix that you've got going on. Okay.
Both feet just a little low.
Okay, well, eat those.
I can't get them open.
Come on then. Here. Bye. Wifey treat.
You know, when he catches it, it gets low and fast.
Mm-hmm. If you want raisins in it, I'm going to need some raisins. All right. Since this is a spice cake, I'm going to put raisins in it because wifey likes to have raisins in her spice cake, and I don't blame her for it. I do too. She's having a low blood sugar moment, so. All right. Take just a little bit. I mean, you know, you can raisin it. If you want to put raisins in it, great. You can do that however much you want. If you want to put raisins in it, you can. If you want to put gummy bears in it, you can. Whatever you'd like to do to it. You can even put a little more vanilla, some cinnamon, you know, whatever you want to do to some of these cakes, you can. There's no hard, fast rules. You don't have to make things the way they prescribe. But I'm going to be using an old-fashioned blender. Okay. Gotta unplug here. My socket's full. So with these blenders, you put the blades in the holes. Put the blades in the holes like so, and they'll fit opposite of each other. See how they work inside of each other? That's how you want them. Don't put your fingers in. Don't put your fingers in here and start this thing up, because you'll get your fingers caught. All right. It's a noob mistake. It happens. Especially for some of you, my younger viewers who are first starting out. You don't need to put your fingers in here. Most of them have an eject button up here for the blades after you're done. As a matter of fact, all of them should have one. So you don't have to put your fingers in there. And you have to be careful with this. Okay? So I'm going to put this down into the mixture, and I'm going to start it on 1. You don't want to go any higher than 1. Okay, so your first click is where it's at. See? Right like that. Okay. And just mix. What I do is I set the blender down, and then I turn the bowl with the other hand. That way you don't pick the blender up. It helps to mitigate some of the splashing going on. If you want to move the blender, keep the blades on the bottom of your bowl. Okay? I'm going to break some of the raisins up with the blender. And don't worry, you can see there's some oil and leftovers on the side. If you want to, you can tilt it a little bit like this, and that'll pick that all right up there. Okay? Just don't pick your blades up off the bottom of the bowl, or you're going to get a real good splash out of it. Which is another reason that I use the larger bowl. Because you can see I'm surrounded by clean dishes, and I don't want them splattered. Nor do I want a huge mess in the kitchen. Okay? So you want to mix it up. Just mix it up thoroughly. Okay, just like that. Now, while the blades are still down on the bowl, shut your mixer off. Alright, you can pick it up and shake it. If you're talented enough, you can actually, I've picked them up out of the soup before, or out of the mix before. If you're talented enough, that works, but, you know, the safest option is to leave the blades on the bottom, turn the machine off, and then, you know, just kind of tap it along the sides, because you're going to scrape the sides anyway. Now, this blue button here is my eject button. So I grab it by the clean part, eject it. There you go. Now, with a blender like this, all right, you want to wash your mixers off. You want to wash this end off first, and right away. If this dries, it's going to be a pain in the ass to get it off. Pardon my language, but... So I'm going to rinse this off right away. It'll get the majority of the debris off, and it'll make it so that it's not such a chore to clean them up. If you have a sprayer, even better. Okay. So they're all rinsed off. As you can see, there's no debris left on it. All right, I'm still gonna put them in the soap because I want to sanitize them. All right, put your blender away, of course, because you always want to put everything away as you use it. Clean as you go will be your best friend, especially if you're busy. So, you know, for all you moms out there who have to chase down the little ones, you know what I'm talking about. Because the minute they get quiet, you got to run. All right. Now, my favorite baking dish is Pyrex. These are my favorites. The reason I say that's because they're easier to clean and they're easier to... They bake up really, really well and really nicely for you. All right. My oven has been preheated to 350. Now, I'm going to use this, which is my olive oil spray. I'm going to spray and coat the entire inside of this pan. So from this leading at the edge at the top all the way down, I'm going to coat it. I'm not going to spray it here because the overspray will hit all of my dishes and I'll have to do them over again. All right, so I'm going to take it and spray it in the middle of the kitchen so that I don't get it all messy. If you use a spray, which I recommend, because it'll keep your stuff from sticking. See? Just like that. As you can see, we got the edges all the way around. Okay? Keeps it from sticking, and it keeps you from putting too much oil in your pan. Some recipes, some of the old recipes want you to put oil in there and then flour it. And that too works to keep it from sticking, but I'm not a real big fan of it. All right. So we got our cake mix, spatula. Now, I am just going to dump it in. Dump, 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 dump. And I'm going to scrape the bowl. I want to make sure to get all the ingredients out and into my pan. Okay? You don't want to leave much of anything behind. Unless you're, you know, some of the cakes that I'm going to do for you later on, there's one of my personal favorites is a chocolate mayonnaise cake. And before you go, ew, mayonnaise, there's history behind that I will explain in the video, but you don't taste the mayonnaise. So don't worry about the mayonnaise part of it because you'll never taste it. All right, so see, I've scraped it out as best I can. Tried to get as much out as I can. Okay. Put that in here. If you have kids, you can have them lick the spatula for you. I have four-legged kids, and I'm pretty sure that one of them wants the spatula. So I'm going to set this aside and give it to him later. Now, with this cake like this in the Pyrex, this is another reason I like the Pyrex. All you have to do to level it out is tap it. Not hard, but just tap it onto your countertop. All right? See, it's nice and even and it's nice and level. And then just stick it in the oven. And I will show you the results after it comes out. All right, so whilst that is cooking, I'm going to be doing dishes and, you know, the like. And I will see you guys in a few after that bakes up. All right. Hello, everybody. I'm back again. The cake has finally come out. So here's what the cake looks like. Now, in order to check it, they say take a toothpick. I don't normally stock toothpicks in my kitchen, but if you take a butter knife, okay, right down the center, see there's nothing on it. See, there's nothing on it either side. That cake is completely done. All right. For those of you who are new to doing cake mixes and stuff, I use the blender because you can't really do a good job of it by hand. So you want to use the blenders. I'm going to put this on the cooling rack. But I'm going to put this all on the cooling rack. It's, if I wanted to take it out and flip it upside down and put icing on it and all that, I can do that. It's loose. It's very loose. As you can see, it's coming out of the cake pan. That's why you spray the pan. And you'll get a nice clean pan afterwards, after you get the cake out. All right. Sorry, I'm wearing out. It's been a long day already. And that's it. You can put buttercream icing on there. If you bought icing, you can do it that way. If you wanted to put jelly on top or honey on top, you can do it that, or you can leave it plain. So the toppings is up to you. You know, you could do a strawberry sauce if you wanted, or whatever floats your boat on that. Okay. But that's the basics on how to make a boxed cake. All right. And we will see you on the next episode. Happy cooking.